people should listen it through.
They're trying to force you out.
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around the club.
At the senior executive level.
Yes.
Siêu sao người Bồ Đào Nha không kiêng nể bất kỳ ai trong cuộc phỏng vấn với nhà Piers Morgan vào hôm 14 tháng 11 vừa qua. Anh chỉ trích từ ban lãnh đạo của Manchester United, huấn luyện viên cũ Ralph Rangnick, chiến lược gia hiện tại của đội là Erik Ten Hag cho đến người đồng đội cũ là Wayne Rooney. Và Ronaldo dường như là đã thả một quả bom vào nội bộ của Manchester United sau chiến thắng 2-1 trước nhà Fulham. Nhưng tại sao anh lại làm như vậy? Đây phải chăng là một phản ứng của một siêu sao có cái tôi cao, hay là một sự tuyệt vọng khi nhận ra bản thân đã hết thời? Và theo nhà báo Francisco Sebe đến từ Jogo, thì người hâm mộ cần phải chú ý vào tính thời điểm khi mà bài phỏng vấn được công bố. Xin chào, tôi là Khánh Uyên và đây là podcast của Zing News. Hello, Mr. Sebe. Thank you for taking your time. And today we're going to talk about one of the remarkable events in this week.
Hello, Zing News. I'm Francisco Sebe, a Portuguese journalist from Jogo newspaper.
Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United forward, say that he feel betrayed when the club leaders in hands had no respect, them included Erik Ten Hag. It seems that he has been suffering too much and now he cannot stand it anymore. So as a Portuguese journalist, how do you think about Ronaldo's actions?
Well, first of all, I think that Ronaldo, a few months ago, I believe after the summer market closed, the transfer market closed, he promised that he will tell all the truth in an interview about what was happening, because all of the speculation that media had around him, his future, his possible transfer, he was linked to clubs like Chelsea, mainly Chelsea, but he promised to tell the truth. Well, a few months after that promise, here it is, the great interview he promised to Piers Morgan, a journalist I believe he is very fond with, and he has some kind of trust relationship with Piers Morgan. So he felt this was the right time to tell his point of view of all the things that happened in the last few months and during the summer with Manchester United. The question here is, when we see a player like Ronaldo with all his dimension, with all his magnitude to the world, not only Portugal or European football, to the world. Well, I'm speaking right now to you, a Vietnamese journalist, so we can see by that the impact Ronaldo has. Maybe it was not the best timing, but Ronaldo thought this was the perfect timing for him to say those things. He says he doesn't have respect for Erik Ten Hag because he also feels that Ten Hag doesn't respect him. And from us that are outside and we don't know exactly what happens inside the Manchester United locker room, we have to respect what Ronaldo says. We don't have the version of Erik Ten Hag, perhaps during these days or in the next few weeks we have. I think above all, we must respect what Ronaldo said, and agreeing or not agreeing, we heard his point of view. Finally, that was one of the things we wanted so much to hear. We wanted so much to know what we thought about everything. So we have, above all, that's the main idea I want to pass here. It's we must respect what Ronaldo was trying to say. Truth or not, we have to trust him. We're parting from the principle. We have to trust him, but we need to hear the other side of things. We need to hear about Manchester United. The club will probably pronounce itself in the next few weeks. We don't know what kind of impact this interview will have, but maybe not so good for Ronaldo because he made some serious accusations and he made some serious claims in his interview. It seems to me that Ronaldo, during the summer or after the end of the transfer market, he reached a boiling point, a breaking point, and he gave the interview. He decided to do it now or to publish it now because the club competitions are stopped because of the World Cup. He's going to the World Cup. When he returns, when Manchester United return playing, it will be really close, if not during the winter market. So if Ronaldo has to leave Manchester United after this, perhaps it will happen, and it will happen during January. So it was the timing. The conclusions here are: it was the timing. He didn't perfect to give an interview. We have to respect what he said. It's his version of things. We'll probably hear from Manchester United during the next few weeks, or not, but I believe we will. So we have to wait for the next chapters of this story.
So last year, Ronaldo intended to join Man City, but Sir Alex Ferguson successfully persuaded him to return to Man United. So do you think that Cristiano Ronaldo made a big mistake when listening to Alex Ferguson and returned to Manchester United?
Well, we know Ronaldo respects Sir Alex Ferguson a lot, and he will always take into account what Sir Alex Ferguson advice for him will be. So I think we can extract a conclusion. We can extract from that declarations of Ronaldo is that the possibility of going to Manchester City was real. I think we need to take that into account. But Sir Alex Ferguson asked him for not to go to Manchester City because of all the United connections he had, and he followed his heart. He said that by going to Manchester United, he followed his heart. Certainly, he didn't expect that things would end like this. If things are really ending like this, he didn't expect it, and we need to take into account that in the first season he had last season was actually a good season in individual terms. He scored above 20 goals, kept his normal registration about goals and assists, and we need to take that into account. But yeah, he followed his heart. Sir Alex Ferguson gave him the advice he thought he had to give him, and Ronaldo made the logical option. Even me, when accompanied by outside all the novel about around the Ronaldo transfer, I had a hard time to believe that he will be going to Manchester City. So when he went to Manchester United, when he returned to Old Trafford, it was all kind of okay, now this makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so until now, Ronaldo left Old Trafford midway through United's preseason friendly match, refused to come onto the pitch as a substitute, and stormed down the tunnel before full-time against Tottenham. So those behaviors are unacceptable in a big club like Manchester United?
Well, we know Ronaldo has a lot of faith in his own capacities. In his head, he's probably still the best player in the world, and that's fine. That's fine. That's a winning mentality. It's what made him so good throughout all his career. So I think it's fine. The thing is, right now, okay, he always said that when people criticize him, that made him stronger. And maybe he's absorbing all those negative comments to try and do better and show them that he's not finished. And I think he's not finished. I think despite his age, he's 37 years old, I still think Ronaldo, that based on his physical form, on his goal-scoring capacity, still has something to give us, to football fans. And, well, British media has a tendency to slam players when things are not going so right. And so Ronaldo doesn't like to see that kind of critics, mainly when we talk about former players like Gary Neville, that even shared the Manchester United locker rooms with him. So maybe those kind of critics don't go well with Ronaldo. And I think it will be normal for him to not react so well, or leave him with their hands stretched and not complimenting them. So yeah, it's kind of a normal and a result of his winning mentality that defines him.
And the next question for you is that Ronaldo is the model for not only Portuguese children, but also many kids in the world. And with Man United fans, he's a legend. He's what people look up to. But with his recent action, he makes more people hate him. So Ronaldo is running his Manchester United legacy. Do you think that?
Yeah, Manchester United fans are surely divided by this interview. That there's no way to turn around it. What I believe is that Ronaldo's legacy in Manchester United won't be completely tarnished by this interview. We have to remember what he did by Manchester United, not the last season, not this season, but what he did when we go back to 2005 till 2009, the year he left Manchester United. Those 4 or 5 seasons, made him one of the best. Made him the best player in the world when he won the Ballon d'Or in 2008. So he won't have his legacy tarnished by this interview. Maybe the picture that the Manchester United fans will have with them in the next few years are this interview, is this interview of Ronaldo. But the years will pass, decades will pass. People will remember Ronaldo not for the interview, but for the things he's done for Manchester United and all the goals he scored, all the trophies he won, everything he did. So that's my opinion on it.
So the fact that Ronaldo will be 38 next February, so is it too difficult for him to choose a perfect new club where he can play in the Champions League? How do you think about this?
Well, Ronaldo, if he's focused, if he's settled in the club, if he feels well, he will always be an important asset to any club, even with 38 years old that he will celebrate on February. But we need to take into account that age and in a footballer, age is an important factor. And we need to take into account that maybe a club will start weighing the importance of a player and then the salary he earns and then the age he has. So Ronaldo is a good player, he's still a goal machine, but we have the problem that he's 38 years old. We won't know how much time he's got left. So perhaps a Champions League level club, let's say so, will have some more difficult to bet on a player like Ronaldo with all it implies, with all the money he will imply at this stage of his career. If he was, let's say, 34 years old or 33 years old, it will be different because Ronaldo was in peak condition by that age. Now that doesn't happen. Ronaldo is still a great player, but a Champions League level club maybe will turn its head to other options, to younger options, to players that are with more, that have more years left on their career. So I believe it will be a matter of concern to Ronaldo. If he wants to indeed keep playing the Champions League, it will be a matter of concern.
So Ronaldo has not been himself this season with the alarming form at Manchester United. And now comes the all-time explosive interview. From your beautiful voice, how will the interview affect Ronaldo and Portugal's performance at the World Cup 2022?
As Ronaldo said in 2010, 12 years ago, he said that goals are like ketchup. When you open the bottle, what it takes to come, it may take a while for it to come out, but when it comes out, it comes all of a sudden. So I think the Portuguese people are expecting to see Ronaldo score some goals in this World Cup. As we said in the beginning of the interview, the interview of Ronaldo to Piers Morgan was not in the perfect timing. I believe he will be able to keep it out of the Portuguese national team, and I believe all his colleagues, all the 25 other Portuguese players that are going to the World Cup, they are professional footballers. They know how to separate things, personal life, their colleagues' life from the things they do in the field. I want to believe, and I believe that the interview won't affect Portugal national teams in the World Cup. We don't know how it's going to go, if Portugal will make a fine campaign or not. We don't know. But whatever happens, I believe it won't be related to this Ronaldo's interview. And I think Ronaldo will be a player in the World Cup. I think Ronaldo still has something to say, and he, of course, has the dream, as he himself said, to win the World Cup. It's the trophy that it lacks in his trophy cabinet. So I think we can expect a full force Ronaldo in the World Cup.
So the fact that the head coach Fernando Santos always protects Ronaldo, no matter how bad his form is. But modern football requires a striker who can work hard and do pressing at the front. So how can Ronaldo do it when he's already shown that he's unable at Manchester United? Because Portugal will face Uruguay, Ghana, and South Korea in the group stage, and it is quite a very hard group. So can Ronaldo help with his style?
Well, Fernando Santos has a tendency to protect Ronaldo, and even because that's because Fernando Santos believes in Ronaldo's capacities. And when you have Ronaldo on the field, he may not be in the best, or he needs best. But the truth is that all of a sudden he can score a goal and decide the match. So I think that's the kind of faith Fernando Santos has in Ronaldo. Fernando Santos called up 3 strikers, Ronaldo, André Silva, and Gonçalo Ramos. We yet don't know which tactical system he will use in the World Cup, but I believe the 3 strikers he called up may open the door for a 2-striker scheme. So if Ronaldo plays with another striker like André Silva or Gonçalo Ramos or João Félix, even he can play up front with him, maybe the pressing matters will go for the other striker, and Ronaldo will be more free to get the ball, to try to score goals. Maybe that will work because in the past it has already worked. Ronaldo in 2017, 2018 had a prolific partnership with André Silva because André Silva dragged the defenders and Ronaldo had more clear and more space for him to score goals. Maybe that will happen. Regarding Portugal's World Cup group, I think theoretically Portugal is the better team, even compared with Uruguay. However, we must take into account that Ghana and South Korea are good teams. South Korea has a coach, Paulo Bento, that knows Portugal very well. He was Portuguese national coach. Ghana has a strong team, a very physical team. We've seen in past World Cups that they need to be accounted for. They are a good team. And then there's Uruguay. The players they have speak for themselves. They have now Valverde that's flying in Europe, in Real Madrid. They have Bentancur in Tottenham. The strikers, Cavani, Suarez, okay, they're like Ronaldo in the in the sunset of their careers, but they can still score goals. And they have Darwin Núñez. So I think that if everything goes according to what's expected, Portugal and Uruguay are going to decide the first place of the group, leaving the second place for the other team. Ghana and South Korea are clearly behind Portugal and Uruguay, theoretically. I repeat this, but they can manage to do a surprise. So that's the beauty of the World Cup. The World Cup, there's always room for surprises. There are always teams that go out in the group stage when nothing made it clear and they go out, but I believe Portugal will decide with Uruguay, and even compared with Uruguay, Portugal is a little bit ahead of Uruguay.
So what do you expect from the performance of Ronaldo at the World Cup? Will he keep becoming a goal machine, or what role will he play in the national team?
I believe he can score lots of goals. I won't say he'll score 7 or 8 goals in the World Cup because I don't know which phase of the World Cup Portugal will get to. But I think we can expect at least 1-2 goals from Ronaldo in this World Cup. He's still a prolific penalty taker, a free kick taker. In set pieces, he creates danger because he can still elevate himself in the air. He can score goals with his head. We always have to expect Ronaldo to score goals. And the opponent, the other team, has to expect it, because if the other team doesn't expect it, they'll close their eyes to Ronaldo, and when they open their eyes, Ronaldo has already scored 1 or 2 goals. So I have faith in him. As a Portuguese, I have faith in him. And realistically, I think we can count on Ronaldo to score some goals for Portugal in the World Cup. And that will be his role in the team, because he doesn't have the speed he used to have. He won't be deployed like a left winger anymore or a right winger. He'll be deployed up front like a striker, maybe one that can go to the left or right if he wants to, but he'll be the main goal scorer, the target man of the team. That's what I expected from Ronaldo in the World Cup. Even amidst all the controversy with his interview and his not so good form in Manchester United, but I think he can still turn around those things and make a good World Cup. Yeah.
So this is the last question, also the end of our interview today. And one more time, I would like to thank you for taking your time. Goodbye. Manchester United chưa lên tiếng trước những phản ứng của Ronaldo. Vì lẽ đó cho nên là chúng ta cũng không thể hiểu rõ được sự tình tại sao Ronaldo lại cảm thấy anh không được tôn trọng và tại sao anh lại không tôn trọng Erik Ten Hag. Tuy nhiên, rõ ràng là trong mùa World Cup 2022 thì Ronaldo vẫn sẽ là một trong những cầu thủ được chú ý nhất.